up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
Hey, what up, dope people? Welcome to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate y'all for choosing to kick off the day with the Woo crew. Up here, we got the vet of the squad, Flannel Sam, and it's your boy, Broder, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Pistons reporter. Flannel, how you feeling this morning?
You know, I'm feeling all right. I feel like it's going to be a good show today. There's a lot to talk about. We're going to get into some Pistons, some Lions. We got Rod Beard in the house for his weekly Wednesday couple of segments. So, yeah, I'm excited. Good to be here with you fellas on a wonderful Wednesday morning.
I'm excited as well. I can't wait to get into layup lines as well because of one topic that I think has been underrated on our show, U of M football. Go blue, go blue, go blue. As excited as I am for the Lions, I am really intrigued about what Sharon Moore and the Michigan Wolverines are going to do this year, man.
I cannot wait.
Woo, it's going to be epic. Hey, but you know what? Chat family, as always, you guys are the most important part of this whole thing. Go ahead and hit that like button as we introduce the rest of the crew. What up, though? Matthew Broder, our credentialed Tigers.
Hi, Brandon.
And the Lions reporter for the network.
I see you. I see you. How about this, Gromit 0237? Another day goes by and Scooble's still a Tiger. Love it. Love it. I know we're talking trade deadline, but we can still appreciate Scooble's still on the team right now.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes.
Hey, last night was a tough Tigers game. We got the Lions starting practice today. This is where it all starts. Like, the fall is about to heat up, and I'm excited. Let's go.
So ecstatic, man. Hey, shout out to that dude, Justin, in the sound booth, man. What up, though, brother? Hey, you got Michigan fever.
Yes, I do. Hey, shout out. Go Blue, baby. Hey, NCAA tournament tonight.
Talk to
7:15, tap in. All the Woo crew will be there except for Flannel, but that's okay. Yeah, excited for a great show. Filling in for KG, and the only time you'll see me today. So shout out to the Woo crew fans out there. You guys make this show happen.
Let's go, and I can't wait, man. Thank you again for organizing this event tonight. Hopefully we get more stuff like this. It's cool when we get some of the new guys that are able to come in right away and add something right away. So shout out to you, brother. You're almost like Rasheed Wallace. Just step right in and just hooping.
Hey, that's high praise. I appreciate that.
Hey, shout out to Woodward Sports MVP. In the TD booth, it is JB Smooth.
It has not been a great night or past 6-8 hours, man. The power went out.
I saw your text.
At like 6 o'clock yesterday. Didn't come back on until like 5:30 this morning. So of course it woke me out of my sleep. And of course the house is just hot as all hell. So it's been a rough couple hours, you guys.
Most importantly, though, he was NCAA deprived. He did not get to play any college football 25 last night.
You still got no practice.
I still got no practice.
Talking about this.
I still got no practice, and I was set yesterday to come home and get in a couple games, and it did not happen at all.
Wait, hold on. What area do you live in? You don't got to put your whole everything out there for people to come find you.
Oh, it's basically the Warren area.
Oh, yeah.
It was so crazy.
That area. I know where you're at. I just needed you to say it because, know. Bro, it can just sprinkle, and then the power is out.
Power just goes out. So frustrating.
But you know what? Let's have a great show.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's have a great show. I'm glad I'm here with you guys, because otherwise I'd be super depressed right now.
Goodness. Shout out to KG. JB. Wherever you are, Black Hollywood, we love you, brother.
He's walking in right now.
There he goes. There he goes.
Ain't
dope
that
shirt on, too. Got the Death Row shirt on. You know what? I'll throw it over to Matthew, bro. Do you want to tell the people what we're going to be talking about today?
Well, KG can join you. Well, go ahead.
I definitely will. We're going to talk about the Tigers game last night. I don't know if we're going to get much to the trade deadline, but in the second segment, then we're going to get into the Pistons a little bit before Rod Beard hops on at 8:45. I was just like, wait, Rod Beard or Rod Wood? Rod Wood spoke yesterday for the Lions. Rod Beard's coming on at 8:45. We're going to have our Woodward Pistons segment. Then we're going to go around the city and ask him about all the different things happening with Detroit sports, with Michigan sports. He's a Michigan alum, a proud Michigan alum. And then we're going to finish the show in the second half of the show with some Lions. We got to talk about them. Training camp practice starts today. The vets are in. The rookies everyone's together, and it's time. Like, they're kind of a nasty day out, but it looks like football weather to me.
You know what? I think that's the best way to put it. It looks like football weather.
Yeah.
I like this, man. I like this. And we got the whole crew in the building now.
Skirt.
The whole starting 5 plus 6-man / coach of the year. Hey, but you know what? Shout out. I don't know if he's ready yet, but we still going to put him on the spot. Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth, KG.
What up?
Hey, he's taking over the Woodward Sports airwaves.
Am I?
I'm seeing the comments. I'm seeing the support. You're crushing, bro. You're crushing.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I'm nothing without my guys, so I appreciate y'all and all the support in the chat. And yeah, man, I enjoy this, man. I had fun. Like, it's been a great experience, to say the least.
Yeah,
so.
It's been awesome in the brotherhood and the family that we have with the chat as well. It's an awesome thing. But you know what? Got a great show, but you got to get warmed up. Let's get into these layup lines.
Let's do it. Flannel, I'm going to start with you. I'm coming at you. Big Ten football. They released their preseason rankings, their polls. They got Ohio State at #1, Michigan at #4, Michigan State at #16. What do you think about this list?
Man, you're not going to believe what I'm about to say. I think they might be underselling Michigan State a little bit.
Yes.
No, for real.
Yes.
I have them as a bowl team. I have them winning 6 or 7 games. And so I would probably put them maybe where Maryland, Minnesota, and Illinois, Northwestern is, somewhere in that mix. I think Aiden Childs is actually somebody that Michigan fans are going to be mindful of for the next couple of seasons. And they've done a pretty good job in the transfer portal. And I think Jonathan Smith is an upgrade over Mel Tucker and certainly over when Harlan Barnett was their interim head coach. As far as Michigan goes, I think they're going to have a better season than Penn State. I don't think Penn State has earned any sort of benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, when you lose as many players as Michigan did, particularly at the quarterback position and on the offensive line, they got to show us. For as much as we believe that Alex Orji or Jaden Denegal or Jack Tuttle, whoever's back there is going to be fine, we don't know that yet. They got a lot of holes to fill on the offensive line, which has been one of their strengths. So that has to be worked out regardless of how good we know their defense is going to be. So I'm not really mad at these. I'm not mad. I'm not outraged over them being after Penn State. Although when the season is over, Michigan will be ahead of Penn State. You can put that to the bank. You can put that to the bank for real.
I love it. You know what? It's interesting because you're right. Quarterback is a big position of need, but Sharon Moore is that head coach. Same head coach as last year when we beat Penn State. And that game plan, it was, hey, we're going to run the ball at your strength. We do not care, and we're going to beat you in your house. I agree with you by the end of the season. I got to get our resident Sparty on the show as well. You heard what Flannel said about your Spartans. You seemed not just excited, but resolute, almost as if you expect them to be a lot better as well.
I expect them to be a lot better, especially given what happened, everything from last year. Putting them at 16, I think, is a little disrespectful. If anything, I agree with Flannel. They need to be around the 10-11 mark, just because I have full faith in this new head coach and the quarterback as well, too, and Aiden Childs. So I just want to see where this offense is going to go. Michigan, I feel like they should be #3. They should be ahead of Penn State right now in this poll. Oregon and Ohio State, you actually have to see their competition when it comes to the Big Ten. But given their past resumes, they seem like they can, be that 1 and 2. Ohio State, I feel like Day is kind of like coaching for his life right now. If he doesn't have a winning season this go around, it's done for him.
And a winning season for him is
beat Michigan.
There you go.
Yeah, basically.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get really excited for this season. Like I haven't played a single snap of the EA Sports College Football 25.
I'm there with you.
But I think all of that hype is just like it's made its way to me. It's like, okay, it's college football season. The Vikings, to jump to the NFL real quick, the Vikings, they signed or they offered and Christian Darrisaw, their tackle. He signed an extension, agreed to a 4-year, $113 million extension, $77 million guaranteed. So that's a AAV of $28.2 million. And just as a reminder, Lions fans, Penei Sewell just signed, a couple months ago, 6 years, 140, $85 million guarantee, but a $23.4 million AAV. So I'm just going to let that simmer there. What do you guys have to say about that?
Brad Holmes strikes again. It just strikes again. We continue to hear these signings that are happening after the guys he signed at the same or similar positions. And I don't know how you have Penei Sewell on such a great deal.
Well, that's the thing. Christian Darrisaw is obviously a cornerstone piece for the Vikings. They needed to sign him. He's one of the 5 to 10 best tackles in the NFL, and he's certainly going to be a source of comfort on J.J. McCarthy's blind side moving forward. However, how great Penei Sewell is, Christian Darrisaw, as good as he is not even playing the same game as Penei Sewell. And if he makes more money per year than Penei Sewell, I'm talking about Christian Darrisaw, then that's a Brad Holmes masterclass. That just shows you that not only can he draft, he can give the correct extensions to the people who deserve them. And Penei Sewell, ain't nobody in the NFL deserve an extension more than that guy. One of the 10 best players in the sport.
Man, that's well said.
Yep.
That's well said.
You get him for 2 more years, too.
Yep.
Only $7 million more guaranteed. Brad Holmes, well done. Well done. Also, nice job drafting in the second round last year. They got Brian Branch.
Yep.
And that man, Sam Laporta, who 1 season in is now ranked by the NFL as their number 80th best player. That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go, Sam Laporta. And you know what? He deserves all of the recognition. What he did as a rookie, it not just kind of in a vacuum from individually, but the impact that he made on a team that was just, it sucks to say this, but 20 minutes away from a Super Bowl. And he was a big, big, big reason why. Sam Laporta.
And I think this ranking is probably about right. If you want to argue a little bit, he probably should be ranked a little bit higher just because he was the second team All-Pro tight end. Yeah. However, he was a rookie. That might hurt his ranking a little bit, but to me, in order to either like this ranking or not, I want to see where the rest of the tight ends sort of play out in this list. Because if Kittle is ahead of him, if Kelsey is ahead of him, of course, I have no problem with that. I could even argue Andrews or Hawkinson, maybe, but anybody other than that, no. And you could argue that Laporta is already better than everybody that I just mentioned. This year will certainly tell a lot, but just happy he's on the list. Well-deserved.
I was going to say, it's almost like Michigan's ranking. It's putting him in a position where it's like, you know what, he's going to go earn more. I don't think at the end of this next season, he's going to be sitting at 80. He's going to be a little bit to maybe a lot higher.
I think he's better than Hawkinson and Andrews. I already do. But if you want to put them ahead of him on this list, I'm not going to be mad at it.
Not right now.
That's basically what I was saying. But he's got something to prove. A lot of these, when we talk about lists that Lions are on, I think a lot of them, when you do this list, the 2025 list, a lot of them are going to be higher than they are this year. Particularly guys like Laporta or Gibbs or Branch probably won't be on this list. But in 2025, I expect him to be.
I like that.
Yeah. I wonder how high CeeDee Lamb is on this list. He's probably pretty high.
Yeah.
And he deserves a bag, and he's going to wait to get that bag until he joins his team at training camp. Did you guys hear CeeDee Lamb is holding out? Hassan Reddick is holding out. Yeah. We just talked about Jordan Love. It might not be that serious of a holdout, but he's waiting to practice till he gets paid too. What's to make of, I'll just go to CeeDee Lamb. Like the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, they're a mess.
Been a mess.
I just continue to contrast this because couldn't the Lions have very well found themselves in a position like this with like a guy like Aleem McNeil? But it just seems like Brad Holmes just knows exactly what he's doing. Then when you look at some of these other organizations that get all the glam, the glitz, and the coverage, and every year people just pencil in the Dallas Cowboys, it's like every year they do that, they're just more and more a mess, and it looks like they're not necessarily managing things as well, especially bringing back, what's the name, back into the fold.
Zeke.
It's just like Zeke back into the fold. It's just like, what are they doing? I don't know what their true direction is. I know that they're going to be a decent team, but in terms of what the Cowboys' expectations are supposed to be, Super Bowl, I don't really know what they're doing.
Well, I want to contrast this to the Lions in terms of how they're each handling their business. We all know CeeDee Lamb is fantastic. I think everyone in this room would agree that he deserves at least the same contract that Amon-Ra St. Brown got. And in his mind, he probably feels like he should be the highest paid wide receiver. In his mind, he probably feels like he's the best wide receiver.
Especially off his game against the Lions.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that he is personally, but I think that he's one of the few people that could state a case. However, when you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons, none of them have their extensions. The Cowboys are effed without any single one of them.
Yeah.
Guys like CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, to me, are potential future gold jacket guys. On the other hand, with the Lions, Jared Goff locked up. Penei Sewell locked up. Amon-Ra St. Brown locked up. If any of those guys isn't part of the future or at least part of the team next season, the Lions are F2. But they locked their guys up. Cowboys are worried about holdouts right now. And they're as talented as they usually are, as much as they continue to put out really good regular seasons, they're just not well run. Certainly not even in the same game as being well run as the Lions right now. Ain't that something?
Wow, what a turn of events, man. Wow, how the tables turn. We got a lot more to talk about today. The Detroit Tigers. I really wanted them to be able to pull out that victory, but I cannot be upset if they take a 1-run L to the Guardians. But I can't wait to hear what our baseball knowers have to say about it. We got Pistons, Rod Beard on the docket as well. But first, I got to tell you guys about something that is the best. It's Premier Pet Supply. It's hands down Michigan's best pet store. They offer you the same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers with one major difference. They've been family and locally owned for over 30 plus years. Over 60 brands of food with nutrition experts to help you. Same day, local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust, on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Let's drive right down to legendary, the historic Woodward Avenue. You guys already know all 4 pro teams right there on the same block. The most unique city in America. We're the only ones that's doing it like that. We just got to get back to winning. Right now, the Detroit Tigers, well, it was, 11-14. Now, 11 of their last 15 games they've won, so I'm not going to be too harsh or too overly critical about the game. They had their opportunities to win, but what do you really do when you start the game off with Tyler Holton and then a band of relief pitchers after that?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because to me, last night was a bit of a reality check for myself, and I'm sure it was for other Tigers fans who have hope for them and want them to buy. One of the realities is that it's a long season, but it's not that long until the trade deadline gets here. And probably the worst possible thing that could happen to this team is if they don't sell and they don't make the playoffs. So in that regard, the clarity is good, but the biggest reality check, at least for me, and I'm curious if any of you in the chat or any of you in this room felt the same way that I did, is that, man, Reese Olson really is hurt. Reese Olson's injury really does change everything, because you're looking at the Tigers starting pitching staff right now. You've got Tarek Skubal, you've got Jack Flaherty, you've got Cater Montero, who has been up and down to say the least, and then you basically have Jeremy Satawa and my mailman as your 4th and 5th, which means they don't exist. And that's why they have these bullpen days. And when you have these bullpen days, they have guys who have pitched really well in the month of July. Tyler Holton started off scoreless. Yeah. Shelby Miller ended it scoreless. But the least shocking thing of all time happened. You know who took the L? You know who ended up giving up the most runs? It was Joey Wentz. And for all of us who are Tigers fans, basically what Joey Wentz is the Kenta Maeda of the bullpen. He should never see the field with the Detroit Tigers ever again. But when you have bullpen days, more arms are going to need to come out and pitch. And that's just not sustainable. And that's why injuries sometimes ruin everything. And I'm not as bullish as I was. I know yesterday, and I know after the Blue Jays series, I was maybe a little reckless in saying that they should buy, but last night was really the first time when I'm like, damn, they got no pitching staff. After Tarek Skubal and Jack Flaherty, who else you got?
And what I think it is, a kind of contrast that, or to bring a different spotlight, is we're also trying to make sense of the fact that they are 50 and 52 as well, with all the deficiencies, and we're trying to figure out, what are they? Are they this team that's about 500 that can play really, really good against some teams, and then just every now and then they'll hit a speed bump? Or are they more or less a team that's going to go, like you said before, stretches where they can't do anything at the plate?
But the tough thing is we can talk about it being a long season, as I mentioned before, and it wouldn't shock me at all if they finish the season over 500 no matter what they do, but the trade deadline is fast approaching, and games like that, seeing Reese Olson being out, makes me feel, and we're not going to get into too many details, that selling might be the best option. The reality is, and injuries happen, we might look back at this season as, if Kerry Carpenter doesn't go down and Reese Olson doesn't go down, maybe they make the playoffs. But that's not reality. I mean, tell that to the Cleveland Guardians, who are division leaders without their ace Shane Bieber. Injuries happen. You just have to get over it. But the Tigers don't necessarily have the horses to get over it, especially when you consider 3 pitchers that you counted on to start the season aren't available right now. Reese Olson's hurt, Casey Mize is hurt, and Kenta Maeda is basically in his professional grave. He still won't make the rotation despite all of the injuries, because putting him out there means an automatic L. You'd rather have a bullpen day in which Joey Wentz has to pitch than Kenta Maeda right now. So I'm not trying to be too doomsday. It was just a big punch in the gut reality check for old Flannel Sam, and I bet a lot of you people felt the same way as well.
And it should, because we passionately care about this team, and they haven't given us like somewhat meaningful baseball to where these games are mattering. Like, they're hovering around 500. They're 6 games back right now in the wild card race. Yeah. I personally, when I first thought about Tigers baseball, going into LCA to cover the team, you see Comerica Park, I was like, yo, baseball's back, but I didn't expect it to be this. As we got into coverage, it was like, you know what? They got some stuff and they can do something. Yeah. And now I'm on this kind of bandwagon where I'm just riding with their highs, with their lows, and here we are, a team that realistically, like you said, man, if not everything goes right, but just a few more things, we find this squad realistically in a wild card position. But what I want to ask you is this: how should we color this season? Not that you can't react however you want to, game by game, but if they miss the playoffs, is this one of those situations where this season where you're like, okay, this was just a season in a vacuum, or do you believe that this is foundational going forward?
If they miss the playoffs, what would give me solace is if they sold smartly, because, and we're going to get into it more. I don't want to do my whole front office flannel shtick right now, and I want to get Broder's opinion as well. Fortunately, even if you do have to sell, you're getting one of Jack Flaherty's best seasons. You can get more for him at the deadline than you ever imagined. You're getting one of Carson Kelly's best seasons. There are teams that are contenders that are starved for a catcher, and you could put together a trade package where you could get more for Carson Kelly than you think. Same with Mark Canha. As I mentioned yesterday, there are a lot of contending teams that could use a Mark Canha, and if you package that correctly, maybe give them one of your prospects as well, some teams might be willing to make a trade that ends up working out very well for the Detroit Tigers. And we didn't even mention Skubal. Skubal could get you a haul, the likes of which we've rarely seen in Major League Baseball. So I think if they do miss the playoffs, the one thing that would give me solace is if they sell correctly and smartly. And I think it is very, very likely that they don't make the playoffs, unfortunately.
When is our next front office flannel? Because
We'll
I'm
see.
very intrigued.
Either tomorrow or Monday. We'll see.
We got to play it like game by game.
Yeah,
we got a little
yeah.
front office plan of depending on how the game goes tonight and this weekend. But you will see front office flannel again before Tuesday. That I know for sure. But I'm glad you went that reality check route because even I felt like I was prepared for it, but having it happen, having a game like last night happen, and knowing there's another bullpen day tomorrow because they're that depleted, that's where you start to realize, man, they're close, but they're also really far away. Like there are a lot of holes. Pitching was their strength. Like that's the one area of this team we haven't been worried about. A couple weeks go by, actually a hot streak goes by, one major injury, some players not performing. All of a sudden the staff is bare. It's bare bones. And then you consider trading Flaherty, which will likely happen. It's almost like you almost can't trade Skubal because you don't have anyone else to throw.
Yeah.
But so what are they going to do there? It's tough. It's tough. It's a team we can still be excited and optimistic about. But man, the Guardians won on a night, or the Guardians beat the Tigers on a night the Twins lost to the Phillies. The Royals lost to Arizona. Here's a chance to jump up another game, at least in the AL Central.
That's it right there.
And you're just staying put. This is what's so difficult about baseball.
That's what it is because we see how realistic it is for the Tigers to be in the playoffs, like in the wild card right now. And they sit just 6 games back with all of the major deficiencies. We're not just talking about like bats that just don't wake up for like weeks at a time. We're not just talking about like Javi Baez still in the lineup. They're still just 6 games back, man. We're not talking about just the injuries. There's so much that's happened to this team. And if just a few things went right, I think that's what kind of brings out this polarizing emotion from all of us where we're kind of swinging emotionally. That dude, Justin, was like, I'm done with you to, you know what, bye. You've been like on both sides. I've been on several sides of this thing, and I do believe it's because they realistically have a chance. But like you said,
there's another team that jumped ahead. Like they stayed 6 games back in the wild card, yet there's now a 7th team in the mix. The Tampa Bay Rays jumped over them. It's there are when you're chasing a wild card, there were so many teams involved, and on any given night you could go on a hot streak, but it all depends on what 5 other teams do. It's bizarre.
A couple other teams on hot streak.
Well, and the thing is, and I'm going to see it in the chat. I've seen it from guys like Just a Fan and a Dakota Mullet, who are usually valued members, and I appreciate their opinion.
Usually.
But I know I'm going to get accused of flip-flopping. I know that I might have been a little bit reckless after the Blue Jays series, even knowing what I knew about Reese Olson. I know I might have been a little reckless after that Skubal start in which they beat Cleveland in Game 1 of this series at Cleveland. But right now, it's not so much about the totality of the season, because if it was about the totality of the season, I would still be feeling pretty good. Because, my goal was 10-6 in this stretch right after the All-Star break. But it's about the trade deadline. It would be reckless of me not to look at what happened on the field yesterday, look at yet another bullpen game in which Joey Wentz cost it for you, which he's done many, many times before in many other games, and not have a little bit of a cause for pause. That's the nature of being a 500 team near the trade deadline. That's the nature of being a team that maybe is a pretender. And especially with all the injuries, they're certainly going to become pretenders.
And that's okay, though.
Yes, that's okay,
though, because I get the big picture. If they don't sell right, we're going to be right back here next year saying the same stuff as we approach the trade deadline. So it's like, what are they going to do for their long-term success? Even if you take an incremental step forward, this trade deadline, it's got to be one of the biggest in Detroit Tigers' recent history.
Yep. They could completely reshape their organization with this trade deadline if they want to.
Man.
They could. Like I said, I mentioned it with Carson Kelly, Jack Flaherty, Mark Canha, and if you want to, those are free agents that are all performing to a level where contending teams will want them. And then Tarek Skubal, the Orioles have all the prospects in the world to give, and they're a Tarek Skubal away from being the World Series favorites, and they're probably losing Corbin Burns after this year, and Tarek Skubal gives you 3 postseasons of team control. How could you not at least consider all those possibilities, especially since with Reese Olson and Kerry Carpenter probably being both out for an extended period of time, on top of Kerry Carpenter's already extended absence, their odds of making the playoffs are probably less than 7% right now. Yeah. It's just reality. Yeah. 6 games is a lot. I see people in the chat saying that's only 6 games.
They don't want it, but it's a reality check that we need. You're just sitting here. Y'all know me. I try to be optimistic, but I'm sorry. From everything that Broder's been saying over the last week to everything Flannel's has been saying as well, it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. And that's why I wanted to ask the question of how do we color the season, because it doesn't have to be the end-all, be-all. If we know that Scott Harris has a plan moving forward, if we know that A.J. Hinch, for whatever his warts and for whatever his good, is showing that he can manage whatever talent he has right now, you get him a little bit more, then that makes me a little bit more comfortable for the future. If I know that, you know what, they're doing business right in the front office, then we take the gut punch this year, because it's going to be that. Because we love our Tigers. That's why it hurts. That's why you're going to see the swings. It's Detroit sports, man.
Yep.
And we haven't seen our Tigers realistically have this much of a pulse in a very long time, that we do want to see them just over the edge. But I remember, bro, look, the blood was flowing when the Red Wings were in that chase. And yes, they missed it by one of the weirdest things ever. By one of the weirdest kind of just last game, last period of the season type stuff. But I'm sorry, man, that mattered, though. We were at that game, KG and JB. You remember when they hit that goal for D-Mac Knight?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, it matters to us. And that's why you're going to always see these types of swings.
Yeah.
You just are.
Yeah.
But,
so I'm not going to apologize for being a little bipolar on this Tigers team.
Yeah.
You can expect me to have the same opinion and be consistent every single day, but that's not going to happen. Because at the very least, I will tell you why it's changed. I'm not just going to do it arbitrarily. If you watched that game last night and saw a bullpen game in place of what could have been a Reese Olson start and weren't a little bit shaken, you have no feelings. I'm sorry. Reese Olson's been one of the most important players on the team. And to bring it back to Kerry Carpenter, he had a 914 OPS when his OPS started with the 9. That's all-star starter type of stuff.
You know what?
Those injuries are devastating.
Yeah.
And Reese Olson right now, it changes everything. Everything. If you had Skubal, Flaherty, and Olson, I could even see a pathway, even regardless of what happened last night, where it's like, all right, they can still do this, but you don't. You have Skubal and Flaherty, you're probably going to trade one of them, and then nothing. Have you seen the AAA pitchers? They all suck, at least this year. All right, move on.
Hey, you know what? I know we got to get to the next segment, but bada bing, bada boom said, if we keep winning and we don't buy anything, the team and the fans will be so deflated. And there was a couple other comments in here that were pretty interesting. Steve-O, baby, I'm just waiting for someone to apologize for saying that the Tigers are done, even though the season's not over yet. Steve-O, baby, I am sorry. I do want to take a trip down reality lane, but he is right. It's not over. They've shown that they have more than a pulse, and if they can continue to kind of go on these hot streaks, they give themselves a chance. But when we look at everything that they're up against, that's why this trade deadline, whether they want to be able to go for the playoffs or take a different approach, is so important.
I can't overstate the importance of that, and I think we all agree in this room.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? Man, we got the legend a couple segments away. I can't wait. But I got to tell you guys about something else that's just as great, and I hope you guys take advantage of this. The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren, it is back August 22nd through the 25th at Warwick Hills. Leave the golf to the pros and don't miss the party at 17. Hey, look, the real ones know what goes down at hole 17. $2 birdie beers, concerts, and more. Get your tickets at allychallenge.com. See you there.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around. Who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
The Great American Chevy Week is back and bigger than ever at Feldman Chevrolet. Choose from the largest inventory of award-winning Chevys, all priced to move for the biggest week of the year. Get this 2024 Silverado for only $213 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $249 a month. Feldman takes the Great American Chevy Week to another level. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Hey, Planet Fitness, fitness that fits your budget, pun intended. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
Hey, what up, though? People, welcome back. It's Wake Up Woodward. We got the entire starting 5 plus a 6-man and coach of the year. About to be coach of the year. Shout out to that dude, Justin. We got KG on the 1s and 2s in the sound booth. Woodward Sports MVP, JB Smooth in the TD booth. Matthew Broder, our credential Tigers and Lions reporter for the network. Shout out to him. And up on the desk, we got the vet of the squad, vet of the network, Flannel Sam.
Oh, yeah.
And Brandon Dent. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer. I need you guys to go ahead and satisfy that like button. Treat it right. Treat it right. You ready to talk to him?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go, Black Hollywood.
You know it's Wednesday. I know you feeling good, but go ahead and make that like button feel good. Hey.
Satisfy that like button.
Real nice and real smooth.
And let it swallow you
Caresser.
up. Wait, what?
What? Pause.
All right. Detroit Pistons.
Don't know what happened.
All right, look, we got to talk about these Detroit Pistons. I wanted to be able to have a Detroit Pistons outlook. We've gotten through Summer League. We've gotten through the draft. We've gotten through free agency. And just to kind of settle where things are at as it relates to the Pistons, they chose not to sign, who was it? I believe Simone Fontecchio with the room exception. And so he was signed into the cap space. A couple other players as well. So they still have the room exception, which is, I believe, $7.9 million, as well as $11 million in cap space. But for all intents and purposes, it seems like the Detroit Pistons might be done making moves at the current moment. But I wanted to be able to talk about some of the questions because we all think that they've improved. And I wanted to be able to flip this around on you guys. I want to be able to get the biggest questions that you guys believe are facing the Detroit Pistons. And I'm going to start, but obviously when it gets to you, we cannot repeat the same question. Make us think, make us dig. Let's really get into where the Pistons are as a team, because at the end of this thing, and when we wrap with Rod, we're going to have to ask ourselves, is this team a lot better than what we saw last year?
Yeah.
Yes, they won 14, but we know that there's some factors. They were not really a 14-win team, and what do we expect out of these Pistons going forward? And I believe that obviously one of the biggest questions is the K. Cunningham, Jaden Ivey fit. Jaden Ivey is a guy who we've seen him handle this team effectively, and we thought going into year 2 that Monty Williams was going to put him in a position to be able to succeed. Be able to kind of handle the reins next to K. Cunningham and be not necessarily a Robin, but maybe even a 1B to K. Cunningham. And that got thwarted out the gates. I'm talking about training camp, being able to ask Monty Williams, how are these young guards looking? And he just, for whatever reason, offered up Killian Hayes. And we all thought it was a joke. But I want to be able to get your take on kind of this K. Cunningham, Jaden Ivey thing. But I'm going to be able to enter into the record JB Bickerstaff's comments as well. He said, I want to take firsthand notes and get 2 of these guys together before I make any decisions or any declarations to you guys about how we'll use them and what we'll do with them, Bickerstaff said. But believing in their talent and their skill set, there's going to be plenty of ways that we can use them so that they'll be difficult for opponents to match with. So they're definitely committed to it, at least for what it sounds like. But the fit overall, I think that's the biggest question right now facing this team.
Yeah, and I have my doubts. I'm not going to lie. I've coined a new term for what I think Jaden Ivey has. I think he has Cade envy. I don't think he has the desire to play alongside Cade. I think he wants to be Cade. I think he experienced that season that he had where Cade Cunningham missed 70+ games and got all of the usage rate he could ever want. And I wouldn't say it got to his head. I think that's how he naturally enjoys playing the game. I actually think that's when he's at his best. The problem is that Cade Cunningham does it much, much better. He's taller. He's a better passer. He's a better shooter. He's a better defender. I think he's a smarter player. I think he plays with better pace. I think he's got that brain for it where he's just knows where everybody is on the floor. I think Jaden Ivey is more of a what you would call a transition demon, for which he is. He's better in transition, at least in terms of his athleticism. But I think that Ivey has Cade envy. And another wrinkle to it is that at least this season, Trajan Langdon brought in a couple of shooting guards in Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley, who I think are better in terms of fit-wise, skill set-wise next to Cade and would help them win more this year. Malik Beasley shot over 40% from three and started 79 games for the Bucks last year, alongside Giannis and Brook Lopez and Middleton and Dame Lillard.
We might be underestimating that signing because that can't be understated. He started 79 games on a Bucks team that had NBA championship expectations,
and they would have gotten farther if Giannis didn't get hurt. Yeah. They might have made the Eastern Conference Finals if Giannis doesn't get hurt.
We talk about the types of vets you want in the squad. Yeah, he's going to play, and he has the experience. He's been a part of these types of runs. But just to kind of back up a little bit of what you're saying, when you look at some of these stats, and shout out to B-Ball Index on X, top 10 guards and playmaking talent. Number 1, this hurts, Tyrese Halliburton, Trae Young, Luka Doncic, James Harden, TJ McConnell, Cade Cunningham, Devin Booker, Scotty Barnes, Josh Giddey, Darius Garland. Top 10 guards and finishing talent. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that's not a surprise. RJ Barrett, Tyrese Maxey, Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham, Luka, De'Aaron Fox, Colin Sexton, TJ McConnell, Kyrie Irving. And it's going to be an interesting theme here when we get to the end of these lists. Top 10 in lob passing creation rate. Trae Young, Luka, Chris Middleton, Cade Cunningham, James Harden, Spencer Dinwiddie, Trey Jones, Nikola Jokic, Talon Horton-Tucker, and LeBron James. And you know what's interesting about all those lists to me? First of all, Cade Cunningham is really, really good. Yeah. So it just kind of backs up a little bit more of what you're saying, even if people can't see beyond the losing. But as those lists, as I continue to read them, I was like, these lists are changing wildly. But Cade Cunningham continued to be one of the most consistent players, guards across every single one of these top 10 lists. Some of these guys aren't in them. We didn't hear LeBron until the last list.
Yeah, and I want to respond to one thing that Matthew Kruger said, because you hear it a lot about Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham's a turnover machine. You know who led the NBA in turnovers per game this year? Luka Doncic. You're done. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You're dead. So Luka Doncic sucks too, right, Matthew Kruger? Right. God, I love you, man, but you have some of the worst takes on the show in the chat. Anywho, no, but one thing about Cade Cunningham, and I think this is something that gets undersold, is that in basketball, in NBA basketball, what is one of the reasons why Shaq was so good? What is one of the reasons that LeBron was so great? They have physical advantages. Cade Cunningham has physical advantages that Jaden Ivey does not have. And in terms of his playmaking, Cade Cunningham was top 10 in the NBA in assists last year. I never can foresee that from Jaden Ivey. He did an all right job.
With no shooters, bro.
Yeah, with no shooters. He probably could have had 8 or 9 if he had better shooters, or even if you had a healthier Boyan at the beginning of the season. But even with all of that, he was top 10 in the NBA in assists. I just think that Cade Cunningham is the one, even if it gets to be a little heliocentric at times, he's the one that I want the ball in his hands. I don't trust that Jaden Ivey wants to necessarily fit with Cade. And I see people saying, like, you don't know that. No, I don't. I'm just making observations. I think the storm of him having that season where he got all the usage rate in the world, compounded with getting put on the bench by Monty Williams, that was bad, I think, for Jaden Ivey's overall development if he wants to fit with Cade.
I'm glad to see him growing the hair back out, too. I know people thought that a little bit of the aura went away when they cut off the dreads. He is growing them back. It was cool to see it down at Summer League. And you know what? Let's kind of go around and put a bow on this question. And as we get the legend on the line in the next segment, I want to be able to continue these questions. So let's think of what's the next most important question for the Pistons after this. But Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, just really quickly, Are you starting them together to see what you got, or are you staggering them?
Stagger. I want Jaden Ivey running the first team point guard, but go on. Yeah.
No, I'm just going to go around the room. Yeah, definitely. If you have more to expand on that.
I'm good.
JB?
I'd probably stagger him.
Stagger him?
If I'm being honest.
Broder?
Stagger.
Ooh. KG?
Absolutely stagger. He's not starting on my team. He's a six-man.
You know what? I'm going to save my answer for after the break, and we got to get Rod's, and let's get some of these questions going. But thank you guys for tapping in with Wake Up Woodward every day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. You already know the Woo Crew appreciates it, so make sure you guys are hitting that like button and staying tapped in with the rest of Woodward Sports. You see the logo right there. After us, Big D Energy from 11 to 1. You got the 4-time Stanley Cup champion D-Mac with the golden voice Neil Rule. After that, 2 to 4, Ermanni and Edwards with Mass. The lovable radio legend Tom Masway, alongside University of Michigan legend and former NFL wide receiver Braylon Edwards and Detroit Media King Fox 2 Ryan Ermanni. Then in the day with the Woodward Heavyweights from 5 to 7 p.m. You got Spinmo Racks and you got Easy, baby. Shout out to their elite booth as well, Nick Koloff and Chris Platty. You guys already know they're bringing you the biggest interviews, breakdowns, and laughs. It is the Woodward Heavyweight. Most importantly, you guys. Thank you for all your support in making Woodward Sports your #1 digital sports network.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had to spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at RandyWiseBuickGMC.com.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. 10 plus years of experience and 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code on the screen or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
KDK Law's got your back. Woodward Sports got your back. You already know Smoky's got your back for lunch. Take care of yourself, man. Treat yourself nice. And JB Smooth, this came to me, man. Can we get a poll up, stagger or start? What do people want to see with Kay Cunningham and Jaden Ivey? And I know we got the legend on the line. I'm going to give my answer when we get him on, get his answer, get Rod's thoughts. And then I hope at least Flannel, KG, one of you guys, Broder, JB, has the next question that we're going to ask.
Oh, yeah.
The most pressing question after the Kay and Ivey.
All right.
So, all right. Let's get this drum roll going so we can welcome the legend on appropriately. Hey, yo! Shout out and welcome to the legend, Detroit News Rod Beard. Hey, welcome to the show, brothers. Good to see you. Sound. I like your Eastern shirt.
That's like 3 in a row, man. I love it. He on a hot streak.
Maybe he's got
We'll get it right.
Yeah.
We'll get it right. Because, you know what? I'll share mine.
Yeah.
Kind of taking a page out of what JB Bickerstaff was talking about, wanting to see how these guys are, wanting to see who they are as players. I don't know if that's an assessment that can be done just during training camp. And I want to see them being put in their best position to succeed. One thing that I really liked about the Summer League team, and I know it's the Summer League, but I do believe it's something you can extrapolate because it's plays. This team has a few different offensive wrinkles and ways that they execute them that lead me to believe maybe they can work. And I would rather see this thing happen during the regular season when there's not high expectation, just to know what we do have in Jaden Ivey. But then it's like I do understand giving him the reins, letting him go with the second unit. I just believe since JB Bickerstaff is committed to no all bench lineups, Cade Cunningham is somebody that I wouldn't mind seeing coming out of the game earlier and let Jaden Ivey stay in to handle those lead guard duties while they start together.
Yeah, and I certainly understand the no all bench lineups thing because we saw what happened last year. However, when you look at, and I'm not saying it should happen every game or that it would work, but if you're looking at the bench for the Pistons this season, it might potentially be one where you could have a mostly bench lineup for a few minutes on the time at the floor. You could have Jaden Ivey. You could have Tim Hardaway Jr. or Malik Beasley. You could have Isaiah Stewart. I mean, whether or not Fontecchio starts, Paul Reed. I mean, it would be a more talented bench than the one that they had last year. Ron Holland or Asar, whoever doesn't start. So, but it's not ideal, but I'm just saying it would be better than last year.
And before we get into this next question, what I want to be able to also do is give you the opportunity, all of us, to be able to talk about the player we do believe Jaden Ivey to be, because it's not like anyone's saying, give up on Jaden Ivey, he's trash. You know, despite the fact that I want to see him start, you know, everyone is comfortable seeing him stagger. I want to be able to get into that a little bit more because you believe in his ability to be able to run that second unit, not just at a backup guard level, but at a level of a player that could potentially be starting.
Well, and also not so sure that Sasser can play point guard. That's another, just throwing that out there.
I wanted to see more out of something.
But that's it's not a Sasser conversation. It's just the necessity might be there for Jaden Ivey to be that second unit point guard.
Man, we're going to see if we got the legend back on.
Yeah, I don't think it's working for you, Rod. We can't hear your
maybe can he call or?
Yeah, I was about to say we can try the phone.
Let's try the phone. We'll do the phone.
Yesterday.
I want his perspective on this Ivy and Cade talk. Chat family, I need you guys' perspective on Cade and Ivy as well. I've seen a lot of people who still believe in this, but I've seen a lot more people, more than ever, comfortable now with this stagger approach as it relates to Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. But what's that second question, man? We'll get that teed up.
Yes. All right. So the question that I want to ask, the one that I found the most intriguing was, and I want to go to you, Broder, first.
Ooh.
Is it scared, not stoked, picking sub 25 wins for this team based on this roster? So you're basically saying 24 wins or less. If you're picking that, are you scared or are you realistic? Or do you have a right to be scared? Answer in any way that you may.
I think you have a right to be scared, but I do think it is scared, not stoked. Like, to me, I'm trying to erase the last two seasons, and especially last season, from my mind when I make or when I start to look at this team, look at this roster. It is a completely different team, completely different front office. So I'm trying to channel that, and it would seem 25 wins normally is a bad season. So I'm thinking they can definitely get there. Like, Spenny, I can't get past the comment Spenny made a week or two ago. It was like, man, they should at least win double their amount of games. They got to win 28. So I'm in that 25 to 30 range, and I'm cool with that. I think it would be a failure less than 24. Was that the number?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I think it is scared, not stoked. But I think fans have a right to be scared. There's a little bit of
they've been burned.
When you think about last year, it's just hard to picture. All right, man, what's good basketball look like again?
Because we saw moves that we thought were going to work that we saw fall flat on their face. And I think that's where it's at right now. So we're looking at, okay, they got shooters. We know Beasley can start for the Bucks and make an impact. Is that something we can definitely trust is going to happen here with the Pistons, which is what I believe makes people a little bit more hesitant. The things that do make me optimistic is that we have, I believe, the right basketball minds, cohesion in that front office, one voice, it is Trajan Langdon's, a coaching staff that looks like they are excited and ecstatic to be here. And shout out to Chris Platty as well, who he hit me up last night. I love our Pistons conversations that we get into via text message. And he sent me and reminded me of this article, and he said he was talking to JB about it too, just the culture thing, because we're trying to figure out what type of coach he'll be. And then he brought this kind of culture chain in there. And whoever the player of the game was, or like the most important player that would give that chain, and after one of the games, because of how much they vibed with him, they gave it to him. Yeah. And it's like, you know what? I'm looking forward to that because that's what makes me optimistic. These teams, these young guys, they've been playing with vets who probably didn't want to be here. Tobias Harris was racing here. Tim Hardaway Jr. he's happy to be here. Yeah. Do some back channels. Like some of these, I'm sure you probably know, Broder. Like these are guys that want to be here. Bickerstaff wants to be here. I got to talk to Luke Walton. I got to talk to Kevin Burleson. These guys are happy to be here, which makes it a world's difference. So I do believe it gives us a little bit more, and then the players, you're supporting them properly. hopefully it works out on the floor.
Well, and that's why I think we're all optimistic and think that this team will win 25+, because it was an organizational overhaul from the front office to the coaching staff to the free agents and trades pieces that they brought in. It seems like this is a team with a direction that really values three-point shooting, that values getting good fits around Cade, that values playing better defense. I don't blame you if you're scared, because how excited were we the day after draft night when during the draft where they picked Cade, not Cade, but Cade as well, but Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren. Yeah. We were all wilding out and just saying Troy Weaver's a genius, Troy Weaver's a master at the draft. Same with Cade Cunningham. And hell, I think a lot of us liked the Killian Hayes, Sadiq Bey, and Isaiah Stewart 2020 draft. But what did it result in? Some of the worst record-wise teams in Pistons history for 4 consecutive years. So the fact that there seems to be a overhaul from that the house was cleaned, gives more optimism for a lot of people. However, if you're not a little scared, you don't have feeling, because we've been burned a lot lately. I'm just saying.
It's justified.
Yeah.
You know what? We got to get the opinions of the legend on, if we got them by phone, on both the lineup, Cade and Jaden. We got the poll going right now, stagger or start. And then we also got to talk about how much better is this team really?
Absolutely. But how about first you tell us about Lady James?
We'll do that, and we'll get the legend on in the next segment. Hey, awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Just stop in, sit back, and relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented hairstylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's is wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians, they take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. It's 24/7 professional monitoring, so you can call us anytime. Day or night, know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you as long as needed, because it is technology that is backed by people. And your safety and security, it deserves technology that's been proven to work, and people have been proven to care. All you got to do is call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, that number is 1-800-STAY-OUT. FAP is in the building. What up, though?
Who did that?
All that fucking breathing.
Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. It is Wednesday, so you guys already know Woodward Pistons Wednesdays here.
Yeah.
We got a whole lot of Lions that we're going to be getting into today and the rest of the week. But right now, we got to talk about this squad, the outlook moving forward for the Detroit Pistons. And 2 of the biggest questions right now, is this team much better because of all of the additions as well as the fit of Cade and Jaden Ivey? And I want to be able to get the legend in on this as well. Are you with us, Mr. Rod Beard?
I am.
Hey, dope. Yeah, listen. We've been kind of kicking this around as it relates to Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham. I'm outnumbered here. The crew believes that they should definitely be staggered. But I got to get your thoughts on this as well. Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. JB Bickerstaff had some interesting comments as it related to what he wants to do with them. And let's just take notes first to see what they are. But what do you believe should happen to put Cade and Jaden in their best positions to succeed?
I'm going to say you start with a stagger and see where you are after it. It's just, we've seen it before. It's worked sometimes. It hasn't worked other times. You don't know what you have with the new additions. I would rather try out the new additions and see if those are better pairings. And then if not, you can go back to Ivey and Cunningham. But just to make it a given and say from day one that that's what you're going to go with, I think you want to look at something else because of the history.
Yeah, definitely, man. That was concise, because I know there's a lot of people who are still attached to Jaden Ivey. They still believe in who he is. And the one distinction we wanted to be able to make is that I don't believe that if you bring him off of the bench, as long as you're giving him the proper playing time in a proper role, that's not disrespect or giving up Jaden Ivey. That's giving him one of the more important roles on a team that generally is going to be considered a playoff contender. And that's not just depth off the bench, but having high-level players that you can bring in, and you're not seeing as big a drop-off when you go to that guy off the bench, especially when you're talking about no more all-bench lineups. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I have a sense that ultimately it's going to be a situation where the stagger is Jaden Ivey off the bench, and you really, really, really get a lot more of those kind of certified shooters around Cade Cunningham in that starting lineup. But
right, and it's not a platoon thing either, because we're talking about when some of those 6-man and when Osar comes in, so you can stagger it in such a way that he doesn't necessarily play with Cade, but he does on that end of the second kind of rotation when before Cade goes out, he has a few minutes with Jaden there. So it's not a complete, they're not going to play together. It's just the amount of minutes and what those lineups look like when they do play together.
Yep. And you know what? And this ultimately, it was one of, like, to me, the most important question. And it led into this question of the Detroit Pistons. How much better are they? Because a lot of people are being, let's say they're being conservative of what they believe that this squad can do. Vegas, I've seen the over-under set at 24.5. I've seen them set as high as 26.5. But is it something where we should be expecting more than 24 wins with this Detroit Pistons team? Or do we take the last 2 years into account, regardless of what the young players are supposed to do to take a step forward and the free agent additions and the new coaching staff here as well? Should that give them more than 10 wins over last year?
No, I think you look at the last 4 years and you say, how many times have they gone over 24.5 the last 4? And that gives you an indicator. People can be a little bit bullish about this team because the roster on paper has been a lot better than the results have been. I think they're going to be at least marginally better. Can they get to 28? I think that's about where I am. Is, again, you're doubling what you had last season, the win total. And Vegas looks at, hey, crap just happens. Injuries happen. Trades happen. Other things happen. I think 24, if I were a better, I would say over the 24, but then I said the same thing for the last 3 or 4 years too, and I probably would have lost all of those. So it is very much on paper, which is all we can go on right now. You like what they've added. I like Tobias Harris as an addition. In Vegas, Tim Hardaway was there sitting next to him, next to Cade on the bench, and was kind of giving him the, hey, this is your team, we're really here to support you kind of conversation. And talk to Cade as well, and Cade is happy with these other three-point shooters around him. It's just more weapons that he gets to be more of himself. And we talked about this. He needs to have that in order to be successful, but he likes the leadership that they brought in to kind of augment the other things that they've done.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You talk about Cade Cunningham, a.k.a. Cade Cunningham. Hey. You want to keep him happy. And they talked about the fact, obviously at the exit interviews, he was asked, hey, are you somebody that wants to be involved, and are you hoping that the organization at least talks to you about their direction moving forward? And so it's cool to know that he is happy about what this team has done, at least at this stage of trying to move things forward. And I know what all Pistons fans want. And the same thing with the Tigers, kind of the same nuanced question we were talking about earlier. Even if they miss out on the playoffs, is this a foundation worth believing in? That's going to be the question that the Pistons have to answer this year. Is this a foundation worth believing in? Because we've seen them attempt this recipe before, but this time it looks like it has the prospects of working out much better because you got vets who want to be here, vets who are going to play. It's not like, okay, we know when Bojan plays, he could be a microwave, but he doesn't really play. And you got a Tobias Harris as well, who is a much better defender at that same 3-4 position than Bojan Bogdanovic was. So this team, it definitely has some things that I believe makes me much more bullish. Part of me, I'm wondering, because the question was, are we stoked, not scared, or are we scared, not stoked, if we pick under 25 wins? For me personally, I'm kind of in that 25 to 30 range, just like Matthew Broder now. Where are you at with these Pistons overall?
I think it's going to be in that 25 to 30. I'm going to say 28 is my number. I really think that's it. Yeah, but if you look at Ron Holland and Bobby Clinton and you say, hey, those are two more pieces that maybe we didn't think were rotation guys. there were enough indications from Summer League that say, hey, maybe we have two other pieces here. And I think I said this before. Don't rule out something else happening before the season starts. Like, this rotation has too many guys in it who can play that you wouldn't be able to trade something and get something else, to improve at some other spot. And I'm not saying it's Ivy, but something like that. I think the conditions are right for another move to be made.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Ron Holland because we've seen a summer league from him. We know we've all, as Pistons fans, made projections for what we think that he could be based off of what he did in high school and then in the G League. How much do you expect Ron Holland to contribute for this Pistons team this season?
If everything stays the same, I don't think he'll contribute a ton. But the difference was I went into Summer League not saying he has to be this. We've done that in the past. We're saying Jaden Ivey has to be this. Asar Thompson has to be this because they have to play key roles in the rotation or in the starting lineup. I went into Summer League saying, Ron Holland, just show me what you can do. I don't have any expectations that you're going to be a great three-point shooter or just show me that what we saw in the G League, there's something of that there and that you're ready to play on a pro level with other NBA-type players. First game didn't do that 5 for 15 from the field, but the next games after that, he showed the athleticism, he showed the decision-making, he showed he was active around the ball on both ends of the court. Those are things to build off of. So I think the expectation for me was just, I want to see what you have with no pressure and no expectation going in. Just be a good basketball player, and I think I saw that.
Yeah, that's what I absolutely loved about Ron Holland as well. And you made a great point there too, Rod, as it relates to the usage. Obviously in Summer League, he's going to have everything on his shoulders. When he gets to the Pistons, one of the things that's different about this kind of batch of rookies, you said it, Rod, they don't have the weight of the world on their shoulders. So it's going to be interesting to see how they develop and if they're able to contribute with a lot less stress more consistently to this lineup. What up, though, KG?
Yeah, hey, Rod, and apologize to everybody for the audio issues, but I wanted to ask you about Jalen Duren. In your opinion, what does JB Bickerstaff and his coaching staff need to do in order to get the most out of Jalen Duren? Of course, defensively is a big issue, but maybe offensively as well, maybe things around the basket. What can they do to get the most out of Jalen Duren this season?
I think they just have to lean into his strengths, and we've seen what Duren can do in the pick and roll with Cade. I think they've got to do a lot more of that, and he's coming from an environment with Evan Mobley, so it's I won't say similar type of player, but athletic big that you can work with, who you can draw plays up for, and he's going to finish around the rim. You just got to put him in positions of strength. You can't have him doing, and what he talked about before was the defense. Defense isn't on one person. It's about the scheme that you're running and funneling players to that big who can then be his best self. I think it's a team defensive perspective and philosophy that they're going to start turning to, because you don't want to put one person on an island. And if they get beat, if the guards get beat on the perimeter, well, now you're counting on Duren to protect the basket or Stewart, and that's just not fair for them when they've got another big they've got to keep a body on too. I think you're going to see some different defensive principles.
That's a good question. And you know what, Rod? We didn't start this thing off the right way either, because I usually like to make sure we do Rod's thoughts, but I just want to make sure. Is there any other questions for Rod?
I think I'm good. I want to know about.
I need those Rod's thoughts.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Rod.
No, I think the takeaway that I have from Summer League and just what I've seen is that we thought that Marcus Sasser was just going to be a serviceable backup point guard. I think there's a need now to go get a point guard. We've seen that he isn't necessarily the end-all, be-all there, and if anything happened to Cade or if anything happened to Sasser, you really don't have another point guard that you can just rely on and say, carry me through this. And so it may be something else that, again, you go out and you sign somebody else. They do have another roster spot. They do have a little bit of cap space that they can work with. But I think that's a definite need now. I thought it was a position you could go and fill, but now I would say it's a need.
No, Rod, and now that you
said a name, huh?
Yeah. Speaking of Summer League, because we talked about Ron Holland, you just mentioned Marcus Sasser. I wanted to ask you about Bobby Klintman, because he has a skill set. He impressed, I think, the majority of us who watched him. I think all of us who watched him. Is Bobby Klintman a legitimate NBA rotational player? I'm not saying this year, but do you think he projects to be that? And do you project that he is that with our Detroit Pistons?
I think he can be that. I think he's a guy that if you want to put him in the G League, you can more than capably do that. The passing was so impressive about his game. He didn't take over games, which is maybe what I wanted to see. We'll say, well, hey, maybe he can be in Detroit and be on the bench somewhere. But again, you have so many rotation players. You have a rotation of 11, probably 10 or 11 of guys that are currently on the roster that I think makes that a hard choice. Maybe he starts with the crews and then he works his way up if something else is done. But I think he has a good future because when you look at where he was drafted, you can see why they made that trade and saw some opportunity there, that he has a good skill set.
Yep, and you know what? The foundation of this team right now, from the front office to the coaching to even new players, new vets on the squad, everything from a leadership standpoint has been kind of flipped over. And I know that you were down at Vegas Summer League as well. I got to talk to some scouts and some other organizational personnel. Did you get any opportunity to get a feel for what they think about the Detroit Pistons? Because I actually got a lot of optimism from some of these people.
Yeah, the people I've talked to have said the same thing, is that getting Tobias was a huge deal. Getting Tim Hardaway is a huge deal, not just from the on-the-court shooting perspective, but veteran leadership. Cade is going to be Cade. But we saw before, when you give him a good three-point shooter on the wing, when you give him the rest of those guys some veteran leadership, that's what's going to make the difference in this team. You don't have to count on Cade every time down the floor. You have options. You have better rotations. All of that is going to kind of come together to make a difference here, that Malik Beasley can shoot from three. You don't have to start him. I think they might, but you don't have to. And last year there were so many questions about, well, are you starting Iver? Are you starting somebody else? Or what are the other things that we're dealing with? You don't have these decisions that you have to make about particular players right now like they did with Killian. You can move straight ahead and say, this is our roster. These are the guys that we're working with.
Yeah, right. And I wanted to ask you also about Ausar Thompson. What can we realistically expect from Ausar? Of course, last year shooting 14% from three. You know, that's a non-starter. We can't have that. They did hire Fred Vincent, but I imagine it will take some time before we really see the results of, Fred Vincent working with him on his three-point jump shot. But what's a realistic expectation for Ausar Thompson? And is he somebody that, because his defense is so good, that you consider maybe putting in the starting lineup again?
Yeah, I think he is the big X factor in all of this, because he could very well start. If his three-point percentage gets up to 30, it changes the calculus on how you kind of run some things because of that defensive presence. So I think it's just going to be, as you get into training camp in the beginning of the season, which Ausar is showing up. Is it the guy who can shoot just marginally from three and he's okay? Or is it a guy who is still struggling? And hopefully the medical conditions are all cleared up, and he's been cleared to return. He already started working out, and they said he's already been working with Fred Vincent. So those are just the big question marks. I think that's the biggest thing. Does he start, or does he come off the bench, presumably with Ivy? There's so many configurations of things you can do, but I think you need some kind of defensive presence with that three-point shooting to tie it all together.
Yeah. Hey, Rod, do you have a little bit of time to talk some Lions with us in this next segment?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
That's dope. That's dope. That is dope. I can't wait. I got to tell you guys first about Swiss Insurance. Now more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure your carrier is not slipping in any extra fees.
No diddy.
Or raising your deductibles. All you got to do is call Mark. Call Mark, all right? Remember that name. Our guy Mark at Swiss Insurance. That number, 313-530-1698, or visit them online, SwissINS.com, and let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at RandyWiseBuickGMC.com.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
Did somebody say merch?
Merch.
I hope you're tired of wearing that same old Detroit sports merch, because I got something for you. Go to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. We are dropping new designs every single week. But let me tell you about the ones we got up here on screen. We got the Stoke Not Scared, which could also count for the Pistons as well, too. You never know. But you got to go and get yourself one of those hashtag Boo Them Kids
Boo
shirts.
the children.
That's out right now, that to replace that Welcome to Detroit sign shirt that I know Kool-Aid's got a couple of them in his
You
closet.
already know.
And you can't forget about the Woodward Sports Tigers as well, too. So head over to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. Hey, it's almost football season, baby.
Almost football season, right around the corner, man. Right around the corner. I'm going to keep reminding y'all, birthday is August 7th. I get the best birthday gift of all time, August 8th. Get a hooker. Let's rock. Let's go. But, hey, look, we still got the legend on. Detroit News, Rod Beard, sports editor-in-chief of the Detroit News. They do great work there, so I need you guys to make sure that you definitely tap in with the Detroit News and give them some support. But we got to get around the city with the Detroit News. And obviously, Lions training camp is big news, but we also got the Detroit Tigers and what they should do at this trade deadline. Rod, if you're still with us, I wanted to be able to ask you about what do we make of the Detroit Tigers? They're 50-52. They went into this gauntlet, and they've absolutely handled business right now. And obviously, whether they can kind of make it into the playoffs or not, it seems like they have somewhat of a foundation and a direction that they can now follow. What's your take on these Detroit Tigers?
I mean, where was this at the beginning? This is what we said they needed to do in the first 50 games, not in the first 100. Like, you got to be there and hover around 500. And when they went under it, like 10 games under, that's when people kind of threw the towel in on it. But if they could have stayed 2, 3, 5 games and not really dipped below that, I think there would have been some more optimism about it. But they're playing well. You're winning your schoolable days, which you need to do, and you can get the Flaherty's. I think what we've talked about before is the Maeda ones are the ones that are really hurting you. Is you just don't have a legitimate shot every day when Maeda pitches. Now they put him in the bullpen, but how much damage is done? You've only got about 60 games left. How can you make up that ground to try to get back in the wild card hunt? They got a little bit more time to figure it out, but it may be a little bit too late to jump back in the race.
Yeah, Rod, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for joining. I just want to ask you, what's your strategy at this deadline for the Tigers? Whether that includes Skubal, Flaherty, what are you doing if you're Scott Harris, if you're running this front office?
I think you answer the phone on every trade offer there is. If there is something for Skubal that's compelling, you listen to it. Compelling has to be, and Lynn Henning wrote about this last week, that if you're talking about the number one prospect who's a shortstop, I can listen to that, but you've got to give me something else. You've got to blow the doors off for me to try to get rid of Skubal at this point. Jack Flaherty, I can listen to that also. I don't know that the Tigers can go out and be buyers right now, because what are you buying? Is it more starting pitching with Reese Olson out? You definitely need a bat, so you're going to need multiple items. You got to be in the 3 items or more line with getting more pitching, getting more hitting, and some other pieces that you might need for the bullpen. So I just don't know that they have the pieces to go out and buy. I think you may just either stay pat and hope something changes dramatically, or you can sell a couple of pieces and hope that something else changes.
Yeah, right. And I wanted to bring it over to the Lions. Of course, training camp set to start, it has started actually. And we all know what the goal is. Super Bowl, everybody on the team knows it from management down. But what are your biggest storylines that you're looking forward to this season?
I'm just looking for the defense. Where's the defense right now? Are they going to be 23rd in the league again, or can they make the jump even just to the top half? You jump in the top half, and you're talking about a big difference. Expected contributions from St. Brown, from Goff. Jahmyr Gibbs may make that leap into being sort of a star back in the league. The offense is going to be good. Can you stay injury-free is one of the big things, though. And if you have injuries, which you kind of do in football, are they to your critical players, and are they for critical lengths of time?
Yeah, Rod, we see this with a couple of the Lions' potential rivals this season. We see it with the Packers. Jordan Love, he doesn't have a long-term extension yet. He's not practicing with the team. CeeDee Lamb with the Cowboys, he's not reporting to camp because he doesn't have his long-term extension. But with the Lions, Jared Goff got his, Amon-Ra St. Brown got his, and Penei Sewell got his, 3 of your cornerstone pieces for the future. What does that say about Brad Holmes and just the organizational infrastructure as a whole?
You're not about that drama. We're not about talking about contracts and questions about is he, will he, won't he. Let's get all of this stuff done so we can get down to play football and focus on the main goal. Keep the main thing the main thing.
That's right.
And the fact that your front office has done that, much like the Cade thing with the Pistons, I mean, it's not quite as critical, but you don't have these lingering questions going into camp, and you don't have reporters asking about this side stuff. Dan Campbell this morning was just about, hey, what are these couple of pup list injuries that those were the types of issues. How do you maintain the success that you had last year? Those are the questions that you want to ask in your opening presser, not about what's the contract thing, what is Goff going to do, what are we doing with Sewell, what are we doing with Amon-Ra? Do you think that's going to be, yes, it's a distraction. It's always a distraction. Even when the players say that it's not, it is.
Oh man, I love that answer. You should have seen you should have seen me. I was pretty excited when you gave that one.
It was on like windmill arms and everything, Rod.
Hey, but
spirit fingers, all that stuff.
Hey, that's what I do. But you mentioned the pup list. Are you, Rod Beard, concerned at all about Brian Branch, Marcus Davenport, and DJ Reader starting off training camp on the pup list, or do you think that's all one big nothing burger?
I think I wouldn't say it's a nothing burger. It's a something burger, but it's just like an impossible burger. It's not real meat. It's just filler, and it's not quite the same. So it's something, but it's not really something I'm concerned about because those guys come off the pup list as the training camp progresses, and I don't think it's a big deal right now. We knew DJ Reader probably would be. The Brian Branch, he's on a knee scooter. Okay, yeah, whatever. And Marcus Davenport, we kind of knew that coming in, too, that he was nursing an injury.
Yeah, right. And a big storyline all off season long, shout out Flannel Sam, is Jameson Williams, man. He has been the topic of the off season. I would say probably the biggest factor of the off season. Is he ready to step into that number 2 wide receiver role in your opinion? And what are your expectations for him?
I mean, let's go back to the first question. Is everything else a distraction? If Jameson Williams is your top offseason story, then you've done well as a front office. That's the biggest thing you have to worry about going into training camp. But to answer your question, I think he's poised for a big year. And if he can be that number 2, it means just everything else is going right, that you need to worry about your number 2 guy. Yeah, defenses are going to skew their extra coverage towards Sun God, but it's not going to be something where if Jameson Williams is tracking down balls and the ones over his shoulders he's able to pull in, those were the ones where you were kind of holding your breath and saying, if he gets this, now it's something. He hadn't been able to do it quite a bit last year, but when he started doing it, you were seeing the flashes of this is what he could be. I think he makes that jump this year, and if he can be a solid number 2 and Donovan Peoples-Jones can be a solid contributor too, then this offense is just humming. What are you going to do at that point? You got so many different pieces that you just can't do anything with.
Yeah, love that answer, Rye. And finally, or at least for me, Dan Campbell. We all know his aggressive nature. We know that it's won us a lot of games, and we also know that there are times where it maybe have cost us a lot of games. What do you expect from him, especially with the addition of Jake Bates? Do you think that he gets less aggressive? Do you think he stays the same? What do you expect from Dan Campbell going into this season? Do we see anything different?
I think he's going to be a little bit less aggressive naturally because he touched the stove last year and just kind of, that burned. Just I took a little bit too many chances. So he's going to be a little bit less, but he's going to still take some of those. And now when you have a kicker that you have that complete confidence in, and I don't know if they're at that point with Jake Bates yet, but when you have that ultimate confidence that, hey, this dude can bang it from 60, then you take some fewer of those chances. But I think some of it is just the analytics. You're looking at the card and you're saying, this is what it says to do in this scenario, but then some of it is still gut, too, to say, I think this will win us the game if we go for it here, and he'll do a little bit of that, too.
Yep. And just one more question, Rob, before we let you go. We're going to talk about it a little bit as well. Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell, the second-year players. We're going to talk about who is more important, whose success is more important to the Lions this season ahead, but I wanted you to be able to kick it off before we give our answers in the next segment.
Well, I think it's Jahmyr Gibbs because he as a third down back, he's so dynamic and versatile that he can keep that linebacker guessing. He makes your defense kind of skew that way. And again, we talked about all of these other pieces. If Jahmyr Gibbs is a solid 1,000-yard back with, 600 yards receiving, then you got a problem if you're the defense. So if he can make that little step forward, that's going to be huge for the offense and then just for everything. Again, you might not have to worry about your defense as much if your offense is just putting a bunch of points on the board. You got 30 points every game. Your defense can be bad, and you're still okay.
Ooh, I like this, man. Rod, you brought the fire today, man. You brought the heat, as you do always, man. Any last words that you want to share with the chat family?
No, I just always appreciate the opportunity, and when we get these audio issues figured out, we're going to be able to flow a lot better.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And just so you know, the poll that we put up there as it relates to the Detroit Pistons, the chat family overwhelmingly says, yes, this Pistons roster is a 25-plus win team.
Yep.
It's actually surprising for me to see the optimism and to see the belief that this Pistons team should be better. I wonder if it's a little bit more of, are people just you know what? Get there now. We're frustrated. We're tired.
I think it had a lot to do with the overhaul, the cleaning of house, the bringing in guys with resumes, the free agency acquisitions and trade acquisitions by Trajan Langdon, the pedigree of J.B. Bickerstaff. There's a lot to be optimistic about. And by optimistic, we mean the Pistons being a less version of bad, but a much less version of bad with a direction. I know
a good bad.
I hate that has to be optimism, but you know,
an attractive bad.
An attractive bad.
You understand what I'm saying? Though.
I do. Rod, thank you so much, brother, man. Detroit News, you guys tap in with them. And they have some great people there as well, and we appreciate Rod for giving us his time every single week and beyond. Just the mentorship that you do behind the scenes. Thank you again, Rod Beard, and thank you, chat family. I know we got to get to this next segment. We got to talk some Lions, rehash this Gibbs and Campbell conversation as well.
Hey, but first, I got to tell you about Mark White. Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supplies has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza is taking over Michigan, known for their quality hand-battered and hand-breaded chicken tenders, sandwiches, and New York-style pizza. Locations are popping up all over Metro Detroit, doubling the number of restaurants this year. Soroki's just had their grand opening in Madison Heights. Be sure to stop in and try at a mega station near you or go to Sorokis.com.
Hey, what up, dope? Oh.
Baby, we back.
Hey.
Baby, we back. Live in effect.
Let's go.
I know what time it is, man.
It's that time of year again.
Get
back in the building. Get going with the guys. Get the chemistry back going. It's good to be here.
I'm Rich.
Another one.
Locked in.
Yeah.
Loaded.
Back to business, baby. Training camp number 1, me and my dog. Training camp number 1 for me and my dog.
You're too low. Gonna be a good one.
Holy shit.
That's Broderick.
That's Broderick Martin?
Yeah, man.
Is that Bryce Young?
No.
No, that's not even close. Bryce Young wishes he was here.
Oh, yeah.
Khalil.
My bad.
Let's go. Let's go. What up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for kicking that today. Ooh, Fruit, I got the chain on. Why? Training camp, Detroit Lions football is right around the corner. Ooh. Hey, but you know what? I know we got a little bit of roster news before we get back into this conversation about Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell. So if you want to prepare, hey, JB, if you can get a poll up about that, which second-year player is going to be more important this season to the Detroit Lions' success, Jahmyr Gibbs or Campbell. But I know we got a little bit of NFL news we got to get to, including the Lions signing veteran guard Ike Butker. I got to throw it over, though, to our Lions reporter, Matthew Broder.
First off, was that Broderick Martin?
It was.
Yeah. Talk about a transformation.
Talk about a body transformation.
They've been saying it.
He looks fantastic.
That man is lean and mean.
It's dope when you see it and it's not just hearing it, because I feel like you've heard things like this before. I remember they were talking about Andre Drummond had a body transformation. Got to the season and was like, looks like Andre Drummond.
Did you bring Andre Drummond into this conversation?
Not even.
I'm just kidding.
I love Andre Drummond.
I know what you're saying. He looks
Broder
good.
hates that man.
He looks good. While we were talking down at Allen Park, at some point this morning, they released a few more names to the active NFI list, so the non-football injury list. There's some names that are surprising, or we'll learn more and we'll talk about it tomorrow. But Carlton Davis, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Amik Robertson, and wide receiver Traquan Smith. So that means they're on the 90-man roster. They get put on the NFI list if they suffered an injury outside of the facility. It could be serious. It could be something totally minor, or they have a lingering injury from college or the year prior, which none of these guys do. So we'll look into that a little bit more. Probably talk about it tomorrow. They also waived guard Matt Farniok. I wonder. They had just filled the final roster spot by adding guard Ike Butker, but they waived Matt Farniok today. But let's talk. So those are 4 and 5 names. We'll learn a little bit more about how serious it is. They did sign Ike Butker, and it is pronounced Butker, like Harrison Butker, but with a G. He's a veteran from the Buffalo Bills. He's kind of been a journeyman throughout his career, but he is a huge man. So we'll see how he fits into this offense. But there's a little bit of roster news for you guys.
Hey, dope. And you know what? I know we got a couple videos on Ike Butker. Do we got those?
We're gonna say let's save those.
We'll save those
for if we had more time.
Let's get back into this Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell conversation. Rod gave his answer, and I want to be able to enter something on the record again.
All right.
It's about one Mr. Jack Campbell from Calvin Shepard, a.k.a. KG in the sound. He says this, and it's kind of lengthy, but it tells you what they're expecting of Jack Campbell, and if he's going to play this role, he's going to be pretty important to this Detroit Lions defense. He says, let me tell you, Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn said of Campbell's development months ago, first off, he's a man. He's a grown man. He's really taking control of this offseason the way he should take control of it. He's a true Mike backer. He's a guy that lives, breathes green dot mentality as a Mike backer. He's doing a heck of a job, and the way he's leading men as far as defense is impressive to see. He's exceeding my expectations, which were already high. This is from linebacker coach Kelvin Shepard. He's coming back further along than where I expected. This player, you could tell, he dove right back in even-toed and took minimal time off. I'm sure his fiance hated it, but he got right back engulfed in ball, and it is paying off for him. Look, if y'all can be optimistic about the Detroit Pistons, after hearing this about Jack Campbell, somebody who's in a much better position than the Detroit Pistons, I'm ecstatic. And it helps that he's also a linebacker. You guys already know how I feel about that linebacker core. Yep. But I just keep thinking about the prospects. Not that Jahmyr Gibbs isn't important. He's an all-out weapon. But I do believe, and I don't want to undersell Jack Campbell, I just want to make sure this guy gets his just due kind of spotlight, because I think he's going to play a very important role for the Lions this year.
Well, and if you're answering the question of Gibbs or Campbell, it's all about framing, because Jahmyr Gibbs, he's fantastic. He had a phenomenal rookie year, was the best rookie running back. I think he has top 5 potential this season. I think someday he might be the best running back in the NFL. But if you're asking me the question, I look at an offense that wouldn't have Jahmyr Gibbs, and you still got Goff, you still got Monty, you got Panay, you got Ragnow, you got Laporta, you got St. Brown, you got the rest of the offensive line. That would still be really damn good. If Jack Campbell steps up, if he improves some of his deficiencies, I think this could unlock this defense into being maybe top 10 or at least 10 to 15, because something that I've always said about Jack Campbell is that he really struggled in pass defense. And I get some pushback from the chat, and I don't really necessarily understand why. When you think of the Lions' pass defense last year, the poster child for it is obviously Cam Sutton. We call him Sutton Toast. Maybe a little bit unfair, but he did have a bad season, and he did have a lot of bad moments, although it wasn't all his fault. We also think of guys like Jerry Jacobs and Kendall Vildor. Jack Campbell, though, had a rough go of it last season. In 291 coverage snaps, he gave up 337 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 124 passer rating allowed when targeted. But I think, given the fact that he's going into his second year, he has a full training camp on top of a full rookie season in which he showed some flashes of being really, really good, particularly in his total tackles and his run defense. I think that his pass defense will improve. I think he will directly benefit from having DJ Reader in front of him, like Logan Wilson did for the Cincinnati Bengals. So give me Jack Campbell, because his emergence, at least in terms of more important for him to take a leap.
Bro, I thought you were going to go to Gibbs route.
Well, it's because Gibbs, we've already seen it, and you could see a pathway even without Gibbs in which his offense is still really damn dynamic. If Jack Campbell doesn't make that improvement, I don't think this defense is what we hope that it will be. He is way more talented than Alex Anzalone. With all due respect to Alex Anzalone, he should be the linebacker 1. He should be your Spielman. He should be what DeAndre Levy was, although different players.
Yeah.
That's why I choose Jack Campbell, because his improvement, I think, will help even more than Gibbs' improvement, because he already was great. Jack Campbell was not.
It's hard to argue with that. I'm going to go with Gibbs. And James Janela said almost perfectly what I was feeling. I'm going to tweak a word sort of at the end, but he says Gibbs will make a bigger impact this year. Campbell has more to prove. I'm lingering on the more to prove part of it. I think he definitely has more room to grow. Like, he has a lot more that he can impact on that defense, and it might not even all come this year. But Gibbs, once they unleash him, whether it's a little bit more or a lot more, this is what will keep the Lions at a top 3 offense. It's what will maybe elevate them to a top 2 or the best offense in the league. There are more guys involved, Jamison Williams and such, but what Jahmyr Gibbs does to this offense, what it allows Ben Johnson to do and be creative, and that what he can scheme up on offense, it all relies on Jahmyr Gibbs and his versatility coming out of the backfield, running out of the backfield, catching out of the backfield, or lining up in the slot. We haven't even seen the ceiling of Jahmyr Gibbs. He has so much that he can do for this offense. I'm just expecting a big year. And the NFL, it's headed that direction. Like fast, explosive running backs usually 2 of them on a team or more than one running back, at least on a team. That's the way they're headed. And Jahmyr Gibbs is right at the top of the list for me of young running backs that fit so perfectly in this NFL. So I'm just really excited for him. Jack Campbell's, I think he's ready for a breakout year too, but I'm going to go with Gibbs for this.
And I want to be able to get our booth's opinion as well. I'm going to do that during mailbag, though, because we definitely got to cook up right now. The people are waiting and they're ready for it, man.
Hey, I'm sure, you know what? As they should be, because I can't wait to hear JB and KG's opinion as well. But do you know what you should do? You should sign up your child and have them join the best youth football league in Metro Detroit. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Southeastern Michigan, a 3C sports league, offers youth ages 5 to 14 with 6 exciting teams to choose from in Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. All coaches are trained, certified, and undergo background checks. Register for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. Equipment, meals, and transportation included, all for a chance to play for a championship at Ford Field for just $175 per child. Put the youth back in youth sports with BGCSM 3C Sports.
3C. The Great American Chevy Week is back and bigger than ever at Feldman Chevrolet. Choose from the largest inventory of award-winning Chevys, all priced to move for the biggest week of the year. Get this 2024 Silverado for only $213 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $249 a month. Feldman takes the Great American Chevy Week to another level. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy, every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce, he's here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. And we are back. Thank you guys for choosing to kick off the day with Wake Up Woodward. I'm hoping you guys are definitely, if you haven't gotten a chance to, smash that like button. Hey, you want to wake them up real quick, KG?
Wake up out of your sleep.
Damn.
Let's go.
Throat dry, man.
We all waking up, man.
Get some tea.
For real.
But you know what? I think it's time to cook up real quick. How about it? 4 O's, 1 V.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Ladies and gentlemen, J Bizzle.
Let's rock.
Hey. What's going on, fellas?
What up, though?
Hey, I got a couple videos I want to show you guys, but first I got to start off with this one. Shout out to Dante151 for sending this our way as well, too. You guys remember your first day of middle school?
Middle school is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I hated middle school.
See, well, I'm sure Bryce, does.
Really remember the first.
We were talking about him earlier.
That's who I thought was in the Lions video.
Yeah, a middle schooler on the first day.
He snuck into Allen Park.
It's a pocket-sized quarterback right there.
I guarantee you those are Heelys he has on right now.
Stop it.
You're probably about to skate to class right next.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness, man.
He's so cute.
Bro, the book bag is half of his, it's like body size, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's an NFL quarterback right there.
He's a pocket-sized quarterback.
Carolina, that's your quarterback.
When you build a prototype of an NFL quarterback, this is what you invent.
You said not a pocket QB, a pocket-sized QB.
Yeah, pocket-sized QB.
That is a pocket-sized QB right there for you. But you know what?
Oh my
Flannel?
God.
Yes.
I think I found your favorite team. I finally found it.
That's not the Chiefs?
The all-LeBron team, everybody.
What? Look at that smile on Flannel's face.
The all-LeBron team.
Look at that.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah?
Dog, this is
He's
so
running like
crazy.
him.
Look at how they all do the chalk toss, dog. Come on.
Wow.
Wait. There's another LeBron coaching them on how to do this?
That's Coach LeBron.
That's Coach LeBron.
Man.
That's hilarious.
Oh, man.
Damn.
They never lose a game. Come on.
That ref gonna have his work cut out.
Wait. Who's taking the final shot?
LeBron.
Kyrie.
Oh, wait.
LeBron.
Oh, stop it. I think it would be, you know who it would be? It would be second time Cav LeBron. Because that's where he had the majority of his playoff buzzer beaters.
Yeah.
Shout out to that dude in the St.
makes
Vincent
sense.
St. Mary's uniform.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hey.
That makes sense.
That's hilarious.
That definitely makes sense. But Broder,
all LeBron.
you wouldn't happen to have any piece of paper over there by you, do you?
I can get one. You want me to get one?
Yeah, if you could, real quick.
All right. I'm listening.
'Cause I got something for you guys. Because I don't know if you guys know, but apparently they took cursive out of, learning at school.
Crazy.
I know, it's crazy, right? So, Broder, quick, let's see if you can do this real quick.
Okay.
Can you spell the word baseball in cursive?
All right.
Or write it.
These kids can't do nothing, man. It's just useless.
I love this. I love this.
They making these kids useless, man.
What do we got?
Can't really see it. It's a little bright.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Look at that penmanship.
That's
little
perfect.
cursive.
That's perfect. That is perfect. See, you did a lot better than everyone else in this video.
It looks like he spelled bulge ball.
You're right. Drawing pictures.
Goodness gracious.
I really can't see it up close.
So they basically asked people under 25 if they could spell baseball, write it out in cursive, and a lot of people failed.
Do they not even teach that in elementary school now? Or in school?
I think school, period. They just
they took it out.
X it
It's
out.
a lost art, man.
The fact that it was baseball, though, like, I would get if you gave them a word like business. I remember being like 6 years old and could never remember its bussiness.
Bussiness,
words like that.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Man, how do people sign their name? Seriously.
Literally, signatures these days are scribbles.
I know.
Scribble scrabble.
Did you see that Keon Coleman clip? You weren't playing it, are you, JB?
No.
That doesn't. He was signing his rookie contract, and I don't know if it was his agent or the GM or something. He was like asking, "How do I sign my name? Like, do I do autograph signature or like I just kind of scribble, or do I sign my whole name?" And it was like a 60-second back and forth.
I cannot imagine not learning cursive, man. I write in cursive for everything I ever write now because to me it's just more free flowing and everything. It's too choppy to write everything in print. So,
are your notes up there in cursive?
That would explain a lot. You kind of got chicken scratch.
Something else.
They're actually not in cursive.
It's like a whole nother writing
It's
style.
a language, man.
Yeah.
It's a different language. It's flannel language.
Yeah. You probably can't read it, but I can. I know.
Right.
He knows what's up there.
Flannelgraphic.
Flannelgraphics. He knows what's up there. But Kool-Aid, I gotta ask you, man.
Yes, sir.
Is this the coldest live pass you've seen today?
Ooh. Let's see.
The double lob.
You gotta turn around, little dog. You gotta turn around.
Yeah, look at the stare. Look at the stare.
I paused it just for that.
Hold on. I gotta see that one more time.
Why they do that to
Well, run.
First of all, why is the kid version of TJ McConnell out there?
That's what I was about to say. Run.
All these athletic kids, and you just got little TJ out there.
We all learned it, right? Place and time. Place and time. You're on a fast break with the whole LeBron James team. Get out of the way. Run through. Hit the stanchion. Run back up the sideline and start. Get on offense, bro. That's it.
It's funny you brought up LeBron. This reminds me of the Jason Terry dunk.
That's where I went, dog. That's what it reminded me of.
Without the fall, though. I'll never forget that. I was watching that live. I'll never forget that live.
I watch that replay at least 10 times a year. I'm not gonna lie.
Have you guys seen that Shane Gillis skit where he talks about white dudes in the NBA or in basketball, like when your dreams are finally realized or removed?
I haven't seen that.
I have not.
It's this clip in skit form.
Look how disappointed the guy is after he gets dunked on.
That's
dog.
crazy.
Look at his face. Like, he's dejected.
You too young.
Look at him. He's like,
all on the
look
back.
at him, dog. He's disappointed.
No.
I feel bad.
Pop's got to argue with the ref now. He got to do something.
I feel the same.
You can't just let your kid go out like that,
man.
I feel the same if I had those nuts on my head.
Yeah.
You know what? We all knew it.
He's too young for that.
We all knew it. But shout out to Broder. I'm gonna call it what it is.
Yeah. Wait, that is a 7-foot rim.
Yeah.
That rim is not.
That rim is not standard, by the way.
Wait, then how short is he actually?
He's short.
Goodness.
Very short.
Then run.
And not athletic.
You on a 7-foot rim, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring race into it. There's 3 black dudes running down.
Come on, man.
Run away.
All right, get out the way.
I'm running, bro. KG, what are you doing in that?
I'm getting the hell out the way. Business decision. You got to make a business decision. He's not old enough to know what a business decision is.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Like he's trying to be a Dave Chappelle friend. Like, run, run, chick, run.
Right.
Game
3-on-1. You was not doing nothing with a 3-on-1, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Blouses. But that's it for what's trending, you guys. Let's hop into some mailbag.
That poor
Hey,
kid,
you know what? We're
Somebody
going to hop
get
into
that
the mailbag. Let's get one more segment, one more break here. I got to tell you guys about Randy Wise. Oh, my gosh. Got to tell you about Randy Wise. How would you like to play University of Michigan golf course with Braylon Edwards, the legend Braylon Edwards? It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Register today, and you can round off our foursome at WoodwardSports.com.
That's wild.
Or scan this QR code.
You are a married man. That's what we do.
I have a wife.
I'm going to tell Queen Kool-Aid. She going to hear about this.
Come on, dog.
All right, bye.
Freaky ass Kool-Aid.
Foursome incoming.
When it comes to your... I love you, sweetie. When it comes to your next car or truck, make the wise decision. Randy Wise, Automotive.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How? Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at RandyWiseBuickGMC.com.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward, and it's been a heck of a show. Thank you guys for supporting the Woo Crew today. Hope you guys have gotten an opportunity to hit that like button. And we got the entire Sharp 5 plus 6 man and Coach of the Year in the building as well. But it is time for our mailbag segment presented by Feldman.
Absolutely. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Let's rock. And like you guys already heard, it's time for the Wake Up Woodward mailbag segment presented by Feldman Automotive. And while Broder is grabbing those mailbag questions, I got to get our elite booth on here as well. We got to kind of bring back that question. Which second-year player will make the biggest impact, Gibbs or Campbell? And quickly, while he's getting those, we'll go to KG first.
Yeah, so I think it's Campbell. And Gibbs is kind of the easy answer, but we need to also realize, like, while Gibbs is great, don't get me wrong, he does have a man in front of him named David Montgomery that makes things really hard for a lot of defenses because he can get that short yardage and he can also break one off for 70. We've seen it. So Gibbs, I expect him to have another great season, of course, but I think Jack Campbell makes the most impact just off the additions that we made on defense, man. You add a DJ Reader into that mix. You got some help on the edge with Marcus Davenport and hopefully a healthy James Houston. And I just feel like that because of that and the secondary, like he should be able to get a lot more tackles, a lot more TFLs. This is a kid that had 90 plus tackles in his rookie season alone, man. I really think that goes slept on. He's only going to go up from here. He is your Mike linebacker of the future, so I would say Jack Campbell.
I love to hear it.
Nice.
Who was Sports MVP? What up, though, JB Smooth?
Honestly, you guys know Gibbs and Laporta are great. They already showed it and proved it this past season as well, too. So for me, it has to be Campbell just because of the simple fact this needs to be an impact player that, as Broder said, needs to grow more and actually will, benefit from the rest of this defense getting a lot better. As they say, iron sharpens iron. And during practice, you'll see him getting better and actually learning a lot more from these vets that are there as well, too, that making this defense a lot better than what it was in previous seasons. So it needs to be and has to be Jack Campbell for me.
Yo, I love that. And I just the belief that his coaches have in him and that his teammates have in him. It's going to be a big year from Jack Campbell and these Detroit Lions. And just the chat family, they went Gibbs 50%, Campbell 31%, and we had Laporta on there as well, who came in at 17%, for which second-year player will have the biggest impact going into this season. So
let me put a little wrench in that with the first mailbag question from Ed O'Neill. What would mean more to the team, Jack Campbell All-Pro season or Brian Branch All-Pro season?
Ooh, jeez.
Defense.
Sheesh, that's a good one.
I think it's Campbell.
I
think it's Campbell.
But Branch is so special all over the field.
He absolutely is, but linebackers are way more crucial to this team, I feel like. You have a good secondary overall, man. If Jack can take an all-pro type leap, that defense is dominant, not only at the point of attack, but maybe he has improved in passing coverage as well if he's all-pro.
That's where I was going to go, man. If he's really taking that leap with pass coverage, then, yeah, Jack Campbell could be scary.
I guess I'll go. That is a phenomenal question because I still am conflicted, but I'll go with Jack Campbell. Just because, given how far he'd have to go to get to all-pro, just imagine if he made that kind of a leap, how great this defense would be.
Goodness.
Fantastic point. Dante151, not a mailbag, but he had a super chat earlier, $4.99. Thank you, Dante. As Kool-Aid once said, I'm fired up for Detroit Lions football. Let's go Lions. Clap, clap, clap. Let's go Lions. He directed me to do that. Let's go Lions.
Forward down the
Blue crew. Charles McLean, mailbag. Would the Tigers be better or worse if they trade Skubal to the Orioles, get a catcher, shortstop, second base, third baseman, outfielder, or starting pitcher with Job replacing Skubal, or to not trade Skubal?
Oh, boy.
He's coming up with a very unrealistic trade option, even for the circumstances.
I'm intrigued in your answer,
The first option would be obviously better. Come on.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
You get... Who are all these people? So you're getting Kierstad, you're getting Kauser, you're getting Mayo, you're getting Holiday, and you're getting Basallo, basically. Yes, that's better than even keeping Skubal. Come on now. But that's not going to happen. And Kierstad and Mayo and Holiday and Kauser are all MLB ready. They would be in your lineup the second they get here.
Oh, factual. This one's from Chase Amlin, mailbag. If you could make all Detroit sports teams wear the same colors, what team colors would you want representing Detroit? Kind of like all Pittsburgh teams wearing black and yellow, black and yellow.
That's a good question.
Great question.
Because now you got to you can't pick the Red Wings because we can't have red teams.
Yeah, but I think blue is kind of instilled in
It would have to be a combination of
Isn't it the Tigers?
teams.
The Tigers have a blue. The Lions have a blue. Of course, the Pistons have a blue
Michigan
as well.
I'm going to go off the board. I'm going to say it's a combination of a couple teams' colors. I think it's going to be the Lions Honolulu blue with Red Wings red, and then maybe like a silver or a black or a very basic color.
Yeah. I was about to say, don't say the Tigers orange.
No, the orange would
Tigers orange.
Yeah.
It's like throw all the Oregon uniforms in a bath and make a tie-dye.
I love the Pistons lightning bolt uniforms, though. If we can kind of talk about the retro ones, I thought that one was clean.
That was one of their best logos.
Were nice. All the teams kind of with that, I kind of like it.
The Thunderbolt ones?
Or the Bad Boys ones. Just have a little bit of a Pistons flavor.
It would be the Pistons, though. If you're going one team color, I feel like it probably would be the Pistons.
Red, white, and blue, baby.
The Lions are red, white, and blue.
Mailbag from Connor Bryce.
Yeah, no, that does.
Mailbag from Connor Bryce. Under over Broderick Martin tackle for losses at 3.5.
It depends on how much we see him. I think that could be over though. It could be.
I'm gonna optimistically say he's going to get exactly 4. So give me the over.
Let's go.
I'll take the over. I'll take the over on that as well.
Body transformation. He's worked for it. He's going to get the opportunity. People have high hopes for him. Let's smash the over.
Is this over under?
I'm going to go under. I just think there's too many people in that defensive tackle room. I think that he's just not going to get the opportunity.
Speaking of, John Effing Lord, mailbag, over under 25 sacks total this year for the Lions.
Over.
You know what? I'm going to pick. He said 25. I'm going to go 35. They had 31 in 2023. So over under 35 sacks for the Lions team.
What the hell kind of a number is 25, by the way?
Yeah, that's wild.
But over. I'll go over for 35.
Ideally, they're getting 25 out of Hutch and
whoever is second.
Hutch and McNeil. I was going to go Hutch and Davenport, Houston.
And I'm hoping, we talked about Jack Campbell and the job we hope he does in pass protect in defending the pass as well as the beefed up secondary. So I'm hoping that there's some coverage sacks as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
This man gets it.
The coverage
Like
sacks
more,
is where
more coverage
is where that's going to be the jump that gets us to 35, I think.
Yeah.
There.
Factual. Some great questions in here. This might have to be the last one. Noah M. Mailbag. Barking thing this week, KG?
Can I provide it tomorrow? I know I was supposed to do it today, but can I provide it tomorrow?
Yeah. You can provide it to us by 10 p.m. tonight.
Are you docking 5% from that?
Yes, I will announce it tomorrow, but I will give it to you
Minus
guys tonight.
Docking points. Docking points.
All right. You know, I'm going to throw, if one person wants to take this, I'm going to throw this out. Great question from Herb Nash. We don't talk about this guy enough. I don't know if Flannel wants to answer this one, maybe not. Mailbag, I love Malcolm Rodriguez. He's one of the hardest workers that need to be because of his size. What do you all see his role on this team being? Special teams, backup linebacker, potential trade? Yes, shoot. I'm going to go to Sam, actually.
Yeah.
Who are we talking about?
Malcolm
I don't actually have to go to you.
Friend of the network in the show.
Big friend of the network.
Yeah.
Man. Shout out Rodrigo.
Hey, we see him all the time at Feldman.
Yeah.
Yep.
Special teams regular backup linebacker. That's the role I foresee.
All right. That's valuable.
It's about right.
But a consistent contributor.
Yes.
In those roles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody like wholeheartedly disagree? Because I don't.
Not at all. Not at all.
Look at that.
He has the right spirit, man, and the right work ethic, and the Lions know how to get the best out of their versatility guys.
He's a capable backup. Let's make sure we say that. He did make a play in the NFC Championship game. I've liked what Rodrigo has done so far in his Lions career.
With the next man up mentality that the Lions have, it's important to have guys like Imad. You got
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, what a show. I know we have another announcement before we wrap up.
I did not stand up here to be eye candy. I came up here to make an announcement. So
you can be eye candy too if you like.
Hey, thank you for that. I appreciate it. But shout out, the winner of to play in the tournament tonight is Chase Amley. Congratulations.
Let's go,
the boy. He's actually going to, I already told him, I DM'd him last night to tell him that he won. So he's actually going to be in studio instead of online to play in the tournament.
Let's rock, Chase.
So congratulations, Chase. We're excited to see you tonight, and we will catch you at 7:15 on Woodward or 7:30 on Woodward Sports. NCAA football 25 tournament. Be ready. Should be a bunch of funny moments. Let's get after
Let's
it.
get it.
Let's
man.
go. Hey, that dude Justin is pumped up. Say bye to the people real quick, man. We're about to break this thing down.
Hey. Shout out the Woo Crew. The boys killed it today. Produced great clips, made it easy for me, and that's a good day at the office for the boy over here. So shout out the Woo Crew. Give him a little dance. You guys are the best.
Hey,
shout
Eric,
out Chat Family.
Burrow,
Yes,
we need a
Thank you,
4-hour
Justin.
Woo Crew segment.
You guys down? 6 o'clock, 6 a.m.
Hey, you know what?
I'm in.
4 down the field. Let's rock, man. And it's Lions season too.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's try and figure something out. But shout out to that dude, Justin. Definitely need you guys to support, tap in tonight. All the Woodward Sports shows. You guys say you want a night show. It's not just about the video games, but you already know the personalities are going to be out too. You want to be tapped in at 7:15 to support that right after you watch the Woodward Heavyweights. Let's break this thing down. We got to go hoop. I keep saying that. Shout out to the vet of the squad over here, the vet of the network. That is Flannel Sam, Mr. Prepared himself.
Hey, this is a fun show. Pretty, lots of good comments from the chat. There were a couple that were a little questionable, but it's all right. It's all good banter. And a very, I would say, fun relatively lighthearted show, and sometimes you need those.
We're probably gonna have to start having you give grades to the chat family at the end of each show.
Well, maybe you don't. Be careful what you wish for, because there's some days. But there's a lot of A's. A lot of A's. Come on now, a lot of A's.
Oh, man. It's your boy Brandon, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Appreciate you guys as always. But let's get to our credentialed Tigers and Lions reporter. That is Matthew Broder. What up, though, brother?
What up, though? They're out on the field. I think right now it's time. It's football season. It's the middle of baseball season. Pistons are coming in hot.
Let's go.
Red Wings, we'll get back into that over the next month. Have a great day. Have a great day, everybody. Shout out.
Good job with the show as well, Broder. Shout out to our elite, illustrious, wonderful, stupendous, magnificent.
There you go.
Hey, brother, you smell good, man. Shout out to Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth. That is KG, Black Hollywood.
Kelvin Shepherd.
That'll do, Aid. That'll do. Thanks to everybody, man. Great show today. Shout out to Justin for making the NCAA tournament happen tonight. Make sure y'all tapped in with that. Gonna be a lot of fun. And yeah, let's keep this shit rolling, guys.
Let's go. Let's go. And in the TD booth, we got Woodward Sports' MVP. That is JB Smooth.
Hello. Yo, great show.
The best for last.
Great show. Shout out to Justin once again as well for putting this whole NCAA College Football 25 tournament on tonight. So please tap in. Don't vote for me because I guarantee you I'm not winning this game. I need some more practice. I need more practice.
Bluffing.
Me too. And I hope you get that power back on, bro. I used to live in that area for years. I hope you get that power. And anybody else who doesn't have power, I hope it is returned to you all soon. I hate those types of situations. And you already know Wuku is feeling for you guys. But this has been Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for staying tapped in with us. Check in with the rest of the shows today. And have a great one. Be blessed. Appreciate you.